Hey everyone, I'm Noelle from Barburn. Welcome for our yin classes. So we are toning down the heat, toning down the spice, and we're going to dive into everything nice. So all you need for this practice is a nice space. We're going to have a pillow, which is our bolster, so that's going to be very helpful. Our blocks and a strap. If you have it, that's great. It will just be something we use at the end. If not, no worries. We'll begin standing today, actually. So come to your space, walk the feet out a little bit wider, let the knees soften, and let's just take a few shoulder rolls up, back, and down. Maybe it's a good morning yin for you, a post-work, or a good evening yin. So whatever time of day you're joining me, we still need to kind of dial ourselves out of that reality to dial ourselves in to our practice. So a few deep breaths here just to neutralize. And then I want you to think like you're hanging yourself on a closet or in the closet, right? Up, back, and down, and let the shoulders really rest. Maybe take a few soft head rolls around as we just massage through the neck. Closing the eyes, you don't really need to see what's happening right now. Notice any tension, any stickiness that might have crept up, and just take a few circles the other way. Allow yourself to be really generous and gentle as we begin, and hopefully that will carry out through the practice. And then slowly bring the head back towards center. We'll take one hand to the heart and one hand to the belly, and just begin to soften the breath. You might even be able to feel the heartbeat. Any sounds that might arise from the distance, just let them become white noise. Slowly feeling the belly expand, the heart lift, the chest open. And with every exhale, we slowly, calmly deflate. And in these opening moments, I just want you to call to your flexibility, not just of the body, but of the mind, of your emotional capacity. We spend so much of our time managing our schedules and mitigating our outcomes, trying to control those finer details. So I want this practice to invite us into a space of adaptability, of flexibility. And just take another 3 breaths here. Feeling grounded. We're just going to start to melt into our first long hold, which will be a dangle. So from this position, just start to slowly release the hands. I'm going to turn sideways just so I have access to my props. And I want you to slowly tuck the chin and start to allow the body to ragdoll forwards. The knees can be bent as much as you like. And when you arrive at the bottom, just start to take a little observation into the tension through the low back and through the hamstrings. Remember, in our yin practice, we aim to have a very gentle conversation with discomfort. So we're not looking for our maximum. And then the best use of the props here are maybe to grab some blocks or books if you need to elevate the surface a little bit. We want to try not to lock out the arms too much, but just to give us a little ledge. And then also the bolster can come up, or the pillows can come up on various heights. So take the next few breaths to bring yourself into something that feels safe, being curious so that the body and the mind can continue to explore what this shape has to offer. And we'll be here for 5 minutes. Something else that you can also play with is the position of the feet. So don't be afraid to take the feet out a little bit wider today. You can even internalize the toes slightly, which might feel better for the back or the hips.
And then once we've found our point of kind of control or our point of surrender here, I'm going to encourage you to relax into the stillness. And as we yield to time, that stillness is continuing to offer us windows deeper into our physical body, our mental body, and our emotional body. This practice today is helping us channel the energy lines of our bladder and our kidney meridians. Through traditional Chinese medicine, we believe these meridian lines are very powerful, and there are energetic pathways that carry our qi. And just like, normal pipes get clogged, our meridian pipes get clogged. So being here in this practice is a beautiful opportunity to dislodge anything that feels stuck, so that the energy can move freely throughout the body. It's very common as the head collects a lot of blood here and the circulation is changing to maybe feel a little tingling through the fingers, or maybe even some dizziness in the head. So as long as you remain steady with your breath, continuing to reiterate to yourself that you are safe, Good. As we come up on our final minute here, I'm going to invite you to stimulate 2 bladder pressure points at the back of the neck. So you'll take your thumbs and you'll kind of hook the dimples at the very back of the skull here. There's a little indent. And then you can just offer yourself a little massage. The bladder and the kidney are some of the longest and complex meridian lines in the body. The bladder line starts around the top of the head and continues all the way down our back body and ends in the pinky toe. So we've got a lot of movement here through this meridian line. You might feel some tension here at the back of the neck or the back of the head. So just follow that, giving yourself a little release. All right, we're going to take 3 deep breaths before we transition. Inhale fully, try to fill yourself up as much as possible. And exhale. Good, 2 more. And 1 more. Okay, instead of coming back up to the top, just very slowly, maybe gain a little stability with your hands. And then I invite you to walk the feet out a little bit wider. We're going to take this transition in towards a yogi squat right from our dangle. So very slowly start to bend the knees down and the head will slowly adjust. Okay, I'm just going to rotate towards the camera. So from your yogi squat, some of us find this to be really comfortable, and
very comfortable usually in our yang practices where you think of coming into that malasana. But I want you to consider that we're going to be staying here for about 5 minutes. So if this isn't comfortable for the hips, for the ankles, the calves, the knees, the back, then we use our props to support us here. So if you're good, you can find your moment here, just a slight press out of the knees if you want to bring the hands to the heart space to start. Otherwise, we can take some blocks and we can bring them in. We can actually bring the legs in front of us a little bit. So we're actually taking a seat. You can also do this on the bolster. And if you find that your heels lift off the mat, you might have a blanket or a towel nearby where you just want to kind of roll the edges up underneath the heels to provide support. So we're going to come in for another 5-minute hold here. So it's nice to just kind of open yourself up, especially after we were rounded in that dangle. So I want you to try to sit a little bit taller here, slightly active as we just open the knees out, maybe bring the hands to the heart space to start. If it brings you peace, you can close the eyes. And every time we make those transitions and we come into a new shape, reintroduce yourself to the breath. Our first pose allowed us to activate the bladder line. The second pose is allowing us to stimulate the kidney line. The kidney starts in the toes at the bottom of the feet, wraps around the outer ankle, comes up through the inner thighs, and then internal into the body, passing through the kidneys, of course. See if we can start to breathe a little bit more into the back of our body. So feel this expansion as we kind of open up. Let the lungs go outwards, let the ribs open up. Notice if you have any tension through the jawline. Let the cheeks soften, the eyebrows relax. Okay, as we continue here, you're welcome to kind of stay in this upright position, or you might just find it really nice to almost open the arms just to still keep the legs slightly out to the side. And just a bow of the chin. When we begin to quiet through our breath and into the practice, we start to notice the brain waves slow down. Which gives us an opportunity to notice our thoughts. Sometimes we move at such a rapid pace, we can't even keep up with everything going on upstairs. So if you could just reflect on the flow of your life right now. Do you feel like you're catching the waves with ease? Are you enjoying the ride? Or maybe you feel like things are rapid and rushing, unable to keep up. Maybe you feel like you're drowning in to-do lists, overwhelmed with work, family. Just step into that space, see how you feel. Controlling our reactions with the breath. Coming up to our final minute here. Notice how the inner thighs are feeling, the back space. All right, let's begin to take our last 3 breaths here, in through the nose, out through the mouth, breathing in and out, getting that full dimensional breath. Last one. Nice. Start to slowly release. You might need a little help walking your legs back in. I'm going to remove the blocks and I'm just going to take a seat onto the mat. And we just did 2 poses back to back, so I'm going to offer us a bit of a soft rebound. I'm going to use the bolster as I just lie back. You're welcome to let the legs kind of splay out to the side. The hands can fall. And now we're just in this very restful, very comfortable position for about a minute. Our rebounds are powerful places of transformation. You notice the effects of our last 2 poses on the body and how it feels to just lie here. Take a nice full breath in, full breath out. Good. We'll start to slowly make our way up to the top. We don't want anything to be jarring, so maybe rolling over onto one side, and then you can use your hands to bring yourself up. All right, our next long hold is going to be a half butterfly position. So again, you might need some of your props or tools around you. I'm going to extend my left leg in front, and I'm going to bend my right leg in about halfway. So again, we're targeting through the inner thighs, but we're also going to get a nice length through the back of the leg and through the back for our hamstrings, for our bladder. So take a nice big breath all the way up and then forward fold through the center. I've got my bolster here ready to help support my posture, but we can also make a little bit of a ramp if we need more space for our body to come forward. You can mitigate this left leg a little bit. Some of you might prefer it slightly open. Some of you might like it straight forward. But again, we're just trying to think of this access area. So we've got a little inner thigh on the right, a little hamstring on the left, maybe creeping up through the glutes and to the low back. And we're here for 5 minutes. So make yourself comfortable and cozy. You also might find that as you continue into some of these postures, maybe it's your first time here with yin, or maybe you are someone that comes often and understands these shapes and this process, but maybe you need to start up here, but then as the body relaxes and as the body melts, you're able to almost give yourself a little bit more depth halfway through. The reason we're talking about some of that flexibility and the adaptability is because our bladder really governs the water flow of our body, and our kidney and our bladder together stabilize the water element in the body. Our kidney is known to help with this flushing, this detoxification. Same with our bladder. It helps us eliminate, controls our flow. So when things feel disrupted in our system, sometimes that can come through in our life. So can you remember in a time recently where you felt that you went along with the flow,
you were able to release some control. Maybe your mind was stretched through ideas or perspectives. And allowing yourself to have kind of that malleable mind or feelings. How did that benefit your life? How did it alleviate stress and anxiety? Come back to the breath. Still feel that full inhale as we expand, as we take in. And the exhale is just giving us every chance we can to melt even further, even deeper. If you notice part of your body calling for something more, or it has a higher level of intensity, we meet that intensity with kindness, with patience. Okay. Coming up to our final 3 breaths here. In through the nose, and out through the mouth. 2 more. And last one. Okay. Gently walk ourselves back up to the top. Okay. We'll just take a moment to sit up tall, lengthen up. We're going to change sides right away because our next pose will take us into our Savasana. So we'll extend the right leg out, we'll bend the left leg in. Now, just because this is the same pose or the same shape, it doesn't mean it's going to be the same experience from one side to the other. So if you need a little support, you can always also bring a blanket underneath one knee if that leg out is too much. So remember, this is like the time to use all of this stuff to make this the best practice ever for you. So bring yourself forward, get a few breaths in, sense how it feels, and then we will dive back in. Some of the intensity that we can have that comes up from one side to the other can be related to an old injury, can be related to overuse. If some of you sit at an office, I even catch myself when I drive. Sometimes I drive like really sideways, and if I'm stuck in traffic for a long time, all of a sudden I'll realize, oh no, my back is cramping. All right, so it's just awareness of how we carry ourselves through our everyday life. And being on the mat in yin, for me, it just tells a constant story of how we live, how we behave, how we take care of ourselves. And Ali and I we live to yin, and we can't stress it enough that it has done miracles for our own practice and our own bodies. We like to lift heavy. Ali loves to run. I love to dance. We love bar, of course. But for us, that complement is yin. As we breathe on this side, we can almost utilize our exhales as that detox, as that flush. So in case things have come up over this practice, if you've become aware of your flow being disrupted, maybe you even recognize that sometimes you stand in your own way. So if you'd like to achieve a more balanced flow through your schedule, your habits, your lifestyle, instead of looking to add something, maybe you need to look to remove something. Notice the breath, maybe follow it as it expands the body and the belly, aiming to take those deep inhales. Let the exhales go a little bit longer as we continue to shift into that energy space. Just about a minute left. All right, we're coming to those final 3 breaths here. Nice and deep. Breathe in. And out. 2 more. And last one. Okay. Softly start to bring yourself up and out of this position. Okay. All right, so we're going to move into our final pose, which is also going to carry into our Savasana. So we've got some options for us here. I'm going to utilize the pillow or the bolster behind my spine like I took that last rebound. But we have the chance to do a bound butterfly. Now, as you dive into Savasana, you're welcome to continue on long after the video ends. But if you'd like to try something different, take the strap in a big loop, place it around the back. I'll just turn to the front so you can see me, and then you're going to place the other strap end around the feet. Okay, make sure it's not twisted. And then I call this the tongue, this loose part of the strap. Some straps glide really easily. This one does. So I'm just going to kind of continue to pull the strap. And what's going to happen is it's going to help open my thighs and my knees, and it's going to draw the heels in towards my groin a bit more. So you don't want to pull it too tight at the top because we are going to lie backwards. And if the strap doesn't suit you, then you can just be in butterfly, or you can take any Savasana position that you'd like. So as we lie down here, you can continue to pull and continue to open. And then you're welcome. The hands can rest overhead. They can be by your sides, on the body. And permission to surrender here as we absorb our practice, as we continue to reap the benefits of our yin energy, of our bladder and our kidney meridian lines. Maybe making a dedication to yourself as you move into the days ahead to notice your flow, to enjoy the ride, and to remove any distractions or disruptions that are making you feel a bit too overwhelmed. I invite you to continue enjoying this part of practice for as long as you'd like. Making time for yourself on the mat is so important. So I very much appreciate your energy here today. And I hope that you can continue on feeling rejuvenated, fulfilled, and centered. From my heart to yours, yogis, namaste.